Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to work on creating an interactable object system for my first-person shooter. Now, a lot of times in video games, you'll have interactable objects that the players can interact with by pressing a specific button. These kind of interactable objects can be used for things like item pickups, opening doors, and even talking to NPCs. When it comes to creating an interactable object system, I'd recommend creating just one interactable mechanic that can then be used for all the different applications just by swapping out the functionality. So to show you what I'm talking about and to give you a little sneak peek into my project, I'm going to click play. So here I have my first person controller and you can see that I actually don't have a weapon right now. I also have this yellow cube, which is an interactable object. And so if I go over to the cube and I press and hold F, I can actually pick up a weapon. Then in another scene of my project, I have this switch with a glowing red button. And if I press and hold F, it toggles the switch so the green light is now showing. Now to create this interaction system, we need two main scripts, one to put on the interactable objects and another to put on our player. And so let's start with the interactable object script, which I've created and I've called interactable zone. Now as part of the script, I've added the required component tag, and we want to add a type of collider. This will make it so that when we attach this script to an object, it will also attach a collider. Now in the script, I have several variables. The first is an int called priority. This will be so that if we have two interactable objects that we are touching, our player will interact with the object that has the highest priority. We then have a string called prompt text, and this I'm actually not using at the moment, but it's defaulted to E interact, which I'm actually going to change to F interact. The next variable is a public Unity event of type GameObject called onInteract. Unity events are actually really cool. If you're familiar with UI buttons and the onClick event, that onClick event is a Unity event and allows you to have that field in the inspector where you can connect a function, and then whenever the Unity event is invoked, that function will run. I then also have a public get for priority and prompt. I've then created a public void function called interact, and this function has a parameter of type GameObject called interactor. Inside this function, we're taking the Unity event onInteract, and if it's not null, then we're going to invoke it and pass in our parameter. Next, I have the Unity function reset. If you're not familiar with this function, it's an editor-only function that's essentially called whenever you attach this script to an object. So we're using this function to make sure that the collider of the object is set to isTrigger. This is just for convenience so that we don't have to remember to set the collider to isTrigger when we attach the script. Next, I have the onTriggerEnter function. The first thing I'm doing inside this function is getting the other interaction script that we're going to create. So I have player interaction controller, and I'm calling it player. I'm setting it equal to other.getComponent, and we're looking for the player interaction controller. We then want to make sure this variable is not null, so I have if player does not equal null. And inside this if statement, I'm calling player.registerZone, which is a function that we'll create, and I'm passing in this script. I then have the onTriggerExit function where I'm pretty much doing the exact opposite. So I'm getting the player interaction controller, checking to see that it's not null, and then I'm calling player.unregisterZone, and I'm passing in this script. Now after this script is created, I can save it, go back to Unity, and I'll open up the other script that I've created, which is called Player Interaction Controller. Now this script is a bit more complicated, but we'll go through it line by line. So the first thing I have inside the script is a public variable of type camera called playerCamera. I then have a variable for our player's input, which is of type inputActionReference, and I've called it interact. I then have a bool called useLookAtOverride. In my interaction system, I want to allow the player to look at a specific object in order to give priority to that object over another. For example, if you have two interactable objects, but the player wants to choose the object that has less priority, then the player will need to manually look at the object in order to select it. I then have a float called lookOverrideMaxDistance. This is just so that we can set a limit on how far away an object is that the player can look at and interact with. We don't want players looking at objects that are clear across the map and being able to interact with them. I then have a layer mask called lookOverrideLayerMask. I have a bool for debugging the lookRay. I then have a read-only list of interactable zones. This is called zonesInRange, followed by an interactable zone called currentZone. And finally, I have a string called currentPrompt, and this is just returning the prompt from the current zone. Next up, I have the onEnable function, and inside this function, I have an if statement where I'm checking to see if the interact input is not equal to null. If it's not, then we want to enable it. After which we want to set up a listener for the performed event. So I have interact.action.perform plus equals handle input. Then down inside the update function, I have another function called update active zone. And for this function, I have a local variable of type interactable zone called best, and it's equal to null. I also have a local variable of type int called best priority, and it's equal to int.minValue. I then have a for each loop where I'm going through each zone in the zones in range, checking to see if the zone is equal to null. If it is, then I continue. If zone.priority is greater than best priority, if it is, then best priority is set equal to the current zone's priority, and best is equal to this zone. For the next part of this function is where I'm handling the lookAt override. So I have an if statement where I'm checking to see if using lookAt override is true, and our player camera is not equal to null, and zones in range.count is greater than 0. If all of this is true, then I want to create an array. I'm setting it equal to player camera.viewPort.pointToRay, and I'm passing in a new vector3 with 0.5 for the x and 0.5 for the y and 0 for the z. I then have an if statement where I'm casting the ray, so I have physics.raycast, passing in the ray. I'm outputting a raycast hit called hit, passing in the look override max distance and the look override layer mask. If this ray hits something, then we want to get the interactable zone. So I have a local variable called lookAtZone, and I'm setting it equal to hit.collider.getComponent, and we're looking for an interactable zone. I then have an if statement where I'm checking to see if lookAtZone does not equal null, and our zones in ray list contains the lookAtZone, just to be sure. If this is true, I'm then setting best equal to the lookAtZone. Because if it doesn't, then that means our lookAt override changed it. And so inside this if statement, I'm setting current zone equal to best. Now next up, I have another function of type void called handled input. This is the listener function for when the player presses the interact button. So this function has a parameter of type input action.callbackContext, which is called object. And inside this function, I just have an if statement where I'm checking to see if current zone does not equal null. If it doesn't equal null, then it means that we have an interactable object. And so inside this if statement, I have current zone.interact, and I'm passing in this game object. And so with this script created, I can save it and go back to Unity. Inside Unity, the first thing that we need to do is select our player object. We need to attach the player interaction controller. We then need to set up the different variables. So here I've dragged in the player's camera. I've also dragged in the input action, which is the input for interact, or the F key, and the rest of these variables are set to default. Next up, we'll need to create the interactable object. In my case, I already have this yellow cube. And here I've attached the interactable zone script. And all you have to do to make this work is to add a function to our UnityEvent. So you click this plus button, and here I already have a script which I've created called weapon pickup, and you'll need to drag that script into this field, and then use the drop-down menu to select your function. And if you're passing the player to the interactable object, then you'll want to select your function from the dynamic game objects list. So once again, I can play my project, and here I can walk around, I can move around, and if I press F, nothing happens. But as soon as I overlap with the cube and I press F, my player now picks up a weapon. Now there's some additional functionality that I still need to implement and fine-tune, such as the prompt overlay, as well as the look override, but for now, that's everything I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and please subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.